Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I am walking around my newest property purchase, which is a commercial property. And this was, I think, a smoking deal. We'll talk about how much I paid and how much I paid less than list price as well, and how it's getting me closer to my $100 million goal of owning real estate. And it's also only a couple blocks away from the depot, if you were just looking in that direction. We have an old train depot apartment complex we're working on, and it does include that building right there on my right, which is very interesting and very old. We'll show you inside there. This warehouse type building right here in front of us, this yard right here. And when I shot this video, it was about 8 degrees outside. There's no heat in the building. I did not want to get the padlock key out, so that's what the yard looks like out there because my hands were so cold and freezing. I just unlocked padlocks on some other buildings, and without heat, even going in my truck a few times to warm up, sorry, but I'm not going in that yard today. All right, here's the building, but let's talk about how I bought it real quick. All right, here's the MLS for the building, and it shows pending, but I did buy it today. Everything's closed by now. They just haven't updated the MLS, but it was listed for $785,000, which honestly wasn't a bad price in my opinion. And it was for sale for almost a year, not quite a year, before I got it under contract and made my offer. And now it actually has been a year since I actually purchased it, so they never lowered the price. Sometimes you can get really good deals on properties that have been for sale for a while and have some problems. And there's a reason why this property did not sell for so long. So first off, we'll show you some of the beautiful pictures. As you can tell, it does not look like this now. There was an outhouse company that owned it and used it. They moved out. It's vacant when I purchased it. And then you can see they used, that's right out front. Yes, those are the two kind of storage units we'll show you here. Some of the inside, offices. But here's the kicker and why. Let's see here. Hopefully I don't. There we go. I got such a good deal. So here's the description. Outside commercial, outstanding commercial owner, user, or investment opportunity. Commercial zoning with the town of Alt, 3/4 inch water tap in place. Doesn't currently have sewer, but the line is next to the property. Has electricity, but no gas. Building is plumbed for a propane connection for an overhead infrared heater or other uses. Functional buildings can be used as is or upgraded by a new owner. Includes a small area, fenced outside storage, ample parking on dirt lot, great location, etc. So if you don't have sewer or heat, that makes it tough to sell buildings. So that's why it sat there for so long. And I'd actually looked at it a couple of times, looked at the MLS, and I honestly thought it said it didn't have water with it. And that's a big deal if it doesn't have a water tap. If you want to try and get a water tap here in Colorado, especially in this area, it's probably going to cost you $100,000 or more once you pay for the water shares, the hookup fees, get it connected, all of that. It might cost you $120,000 to actually get water to the building. Sewer is much, much, much easier. And they said the sewer line is next to the building. The sewer line is kind of right along this alley here. And so we can get sewer really, really easily without much of an issue. And it's plumbed for propane right now, so we could put a propane tank in somewhere. Super easy. But some businesses might want a gas hookup, and in that case, you know, we could do that as well, but we just have to be a little extra cost to hook up to gas, but that might be an option as well. Now, the building has some issues. That's why it's freezing inside. We'll walk around and show you those. But I did not pay $785,000 for this property. I actually made an offer on it of like $475,000 or something. Now, I normally don't make offers that low. That's really low. You would definitely consider that a low ball offer, but you can also see some pretty good holes in the building too. But because it was on the market for so long, because it had so many issues, I decided to try it and see what happened. So I made that offer, They came back. They did not accept my offer, but they countered me. And the listing agent actually is like, I can't believe they're coming in this low. They countered me at $550,000. So I accepted. I had a short inspection period. Wanted to make sure the water was good, everything was okay there, and then we closed on it today. So, I mean, that is basically, it's almost 10,000 square feet total with this building and the storage units. That's like $55 a square foot. If you were to build something new, it'd probably be $200 a square foot or something close to that. And selling stuff in decent shape with, you know, heat and sewer, things like that, probably $120 a square foot to $150 a square foot is the going rate. So this definitely is not in that shape yet, and we're going to have to do some work, but it's got a ton of potential, and you just kind of hope you're not missing something on a deal like this. So the one thing that we're checking is the water. It has a water spigot inside. But we called the town and they said, oh, there's no record of water here. I'm like, great. But the owner gave us his water bill, showed us it was like a different address right next to it, confirmed it has water. So that's the big thing. And we can fix the other stuff fairly easily. It's just a question of how far do we go on this building? How much do we do? Now, I definitely want to make sure that you don't see quite so many, you know, daylight holes coming through it and get those, you know, patched up or replace some steel. I'm not sure what we'll do there. We're going to add a sewer, so we'll get that done probably in this back area. I want to add a bathroom, so it has an actual bathroom. It has no bathroom now. Maybe a small kitchen, maybe not. We'll see. You can see it's got some offices right here. Even has some windows. And we want to make sure it's got heat. So it does have radiant heat on part of the building. It's got electric baseboard heaters in these offices, so that's nice to see. Hey, the power's on. It does work. Of course, the garage door opened, so of course the power would be on, but didn't think of that until just now. And then the extra ones are, do we insulate this building? Because if you saw, it's just metal on nothing. You know, there's no insulation whatsoever. It's a huge building. It would be very expensive to insulate it, but it might be worth it. So that's something we've got to look at and figure out if we want to do or not. Because if you don't insulate it and you try to keep it warm in here, I mean, that's going to be some very expensive heating bills. And if you go the propane route, you're going to be refilling that propane tank constantly. So that's something to think about, is the insulation. And something else to think about is it's got a dirt yard right now. It would be more valuable if you paved it, but again, would it be worth the money it would take to pave it? Is it okay as dirt? That's something we've got to think about as well. Now, me being me, I have not gotten bids or checked on the insulation or paving prices yet. I knew it was a good deal whether I did that or not, and we've got some other things we can do first. But those are some things I want to get on and check out and see what those costs would be. These stairs, I think we probably should fix them because did I show it? Oh, I don't know if I had to duck pretty far down to not smash my head right there. That's like 4.5 feet tall of clearance right there. But I'm thinking you could take out part of that closet in the office and move those stairs, you know, farther towards this back wall and probably have decent clearance to not have to do that. But again, it's like, well, is anybody ever going to use this space enough to need that? I don't know. But it's kind of a neat little loft area up here. And, you know, there's a chance actually someone might want kind of a little office workspace up there too. Because I know in a lot of these commercial buildings, they do have kind of a mezzanine level overlooking the workspace so you can see what's going on, what's happening. That's kind of nice to have. So maybe it would be wise to do that. That's something else we'll think about too. All right, I got these doors open and they're extremely annoying padlocks and weird locks. These buildings are very, very, very old. So these were built in like 1920. The main building we were just in, I think, was 1972. But you can see the age in here. And these have, no heat. I don't think they have any power. And I'm not sure how structurally sound they are still. I can see a whole lot of sistering going on, which is where you put another board on top of some other boards to try and help the structure of it. But I think those boards are still sagging a little bit. So we'll have to figure that out too. But really, you just kind of use this for storage. And then, man, is that an old water? That's interesting. I can't imagine that is still active or working. And that is so old you can't read anything on it. But, that'd be a super amazing, awesome bonus if there happened to be another water tap on this. But I can't imagine there is. In here, again, it's too cold for me to open this garage door up, so we're going in the side door route. A little dark in here. I'm not sure what's going on the roof, what all those different things are. Again, very old. Oh, there's some old king siphon. Those are for irrigating. You stick one end in the ditch and one end in your little trough for your field, and that's how you irrigate your crops. The garage doors are actually fairly new, so that's nice. I don't know what that is either. And then there's a couple of new pieces of boards. And then that is the end of the property right there. Believe it or not, there's a winery on the other side of this. In the middle of town. I've never been there. Not sure how good their wine is. Not sure where their vineyard is because it's not here in town. Well, maybe that's their vineyard right there. Look at those beautiful roots growing through the wall. Okay. Well, they put a little bit of insulation up right there. Oh, and that certainly looks like fire damage. So, what would my properties be without a fire at some point in their life? It's almost, the fires have overtaken the tire stories I used to have, although we still have tire stories. So, this is definitely the least usable part of the property, but you could rent these out for just storage, I'm sure. There's huge demand for storage units. I just want to make sure that the roof isn't going to cave in on someone's stuff at some point. So, there you go. There's one part of the property. There's the big shop again that we were in earlier. One thing that would be nice too is it's only got that one overhead door. It sure would be nice to have multiple overhead doors, but those are very, very expensive to install. And I'm not sure I need to do that. Maybe someone else could do that. I did also stop by the depot, of course, since I was in town, and all the doors were shut, so that was good since it's 6-8 degrees out, whatever temperature it was when I was doing my walkthrough here. So this property should be an excellent property. It should have a ton of equity. We just have to figure out what to do and what not to do on it. Again, here's the yard. We'll have better access, viewing of that next time. I think that's the door to the winery right there. I doubt we have any access to the winery, but that's the building. And then, as I promised before, and some of you may have heard of this in some of my last videos or not, I made a new goal this year to own $100 million of real estate by 2030. And so that's real estate I own 100%. Not real estate I have under management or real estate I share with partners. That's, I have a couple of properties I own with partners, but I'm only counting my share of that real estate, and I haven't had a real big exciting goal like that since my goal to buy 100 rental properties I made back in 2013. And so we're working hard on this goal and building some different stuff out on the website, Invest for More. I've written a couple articles about it on my blog, Invest for More, so check those out if you haven't seen them. And along with that, I'm going to have some charts and data so people can follow along if they want as well. So I made this chart already, and our website isn't quite ready with the charts, but it will be soon. And this kind of just shows my progress over the years from when I bought my first rental property in 2010. And so the green one is the total value of my rentals. red is the loans I have against them, blue is the equity, and then I also have the businesses down there on the bottom, and that's just the value of my businesses. Now, I also am going to add flips to this as well, because that's real estate I own, and my personal houses too. I will have them in here as well, and we'll see how all this works out and plays out. But the big jumps are always when I buy properties. So there's a big jump in the value of the properties because I bought this one. And the way I value the properties are what I think it's worth right now. So I actually valued this property at $700,000 right now, because I think if it's marketed well and listed and priced so low and they had it, I think it would sell close to that price. Now, once we fix it up, and I don't even know if I'm going to keep it or as in a rental or sell it. I haven't decided that yet either. But I think it's $1 million plus property once we get it fixed up, get some heat, some sewer, a bathroom, all of that in there. Then at that point, once we get it stabilized, then I go through my charts and numbers and then increase the values based on the current market value at that point. So that's how all that will work out. And then I'll probably add my personal houses to this as well too, since that's also real estate I own. I kind of count my river house and then the house I live in as my personal houses, since I don't rent them out, don't use them for income. So lots of exciting stuff happening. It's really cool to see those big jumps in the chart. And this will also force me to keep track of this more often too, and keep track of everything that's going on. I think that's just really good for business and figuring out what you want to do, and finances as well. The more you can track, the more you know what's going on, the better off you're going to be. And we're going to have another big jump in this next week as well, because next week I'm buying another liquor store. This listed for $999,000, but again, that's what it's listed for. We'll talk about what we bought it for, how that all works next week. And that comes with the business, comes with the real estate. So we'll probably be adding to the business number next week and the real estate value next week. And of course, we'll be adding to the loan value next week as well. If you see a few months ago, we had a big jump in loans and a decrease in equity. That's when I did a cash out refinance and refinanced some current properties I had. Allowed me to get some more cash to buy more properties, and done that a number of times over the years as well. So that's what's going on with me with this new property. This is how it's affected my current portfolio of properties. And we'll have another big video next week. That will be exciting, and a lot of work to do as well, starting next week on that property, on this property. We've still got some flips going, and we've still got the train depot going. We have quite a bit happening right now. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon. Love to hear what you think. And stay warm.